So welcome to the finale of the modern touring cars for season 11 here at NXTGEN. Here at Silverstone National. So we watch Ginge in the Megane. Obviously this championship dominated by Renault Meganes. Very popular car for this class. So let's have a look at the standings. I mean, now mathematically there is 44 points up for grabs tonight. And after Alton Park Highland, Omega is leading. He's looking to do the double championship now. So he's securing the Group A's. He'll be looking to secure the Moderns as well. And dominate the touring car scene in NXTGEN. But Shadow Racing is on... So Omega's on 349 points, whilst Shadow Racing is on 341. Only 8 points separate them, with Scooby G on 333, only 16 behind. And NGR Fraser, after a mental second half of the season, on 331 points, only 18 behind Omega. So any one of those top four can definitely take it. But then Jack is the first man who cannot become champion mathematically. And he's on 291 points in 5th, with Ginge on 224, Sandrock 3 on 170, Snydergas 28 is on 139. Lee W is on 135. Don't think Lee is with us. Say 47 point. PT is there, new man to the championship here for the final round. He's in a, I believe that is a Mercedes. Yes, it is. Nice to see a different car on the grid. He's in the BMW. Tim in his Mercedes. Or nope, that was someone else. I think that was Shadow talking. There's Tim in his BMW. Maybe? No, he's in the pits. That's why we can't see him. There is Shadow Stalker. There's Royston. Royston on 134 points in a battle with Lee W and Snydergas for that 8th place. Shadow Stalker is on 125 with NGR Martin on 113. Is Martin here tonight? Leading there is Martin. He's currently sat in pole position right now. Whitford is on 95, Tim on 90, Billa is on 40, the Hon GWBL is on 27, with Shockshaft on 27 as well, Suzuki RMZ is on 18, James Hunt 777 is on 17, Ropsk is on 13. We have a pretty decent grid at the moment. Fifteen cars will be driving tonight. I'll get my wonderful comments section up. So tonight's driving is Martin, followed by Sandwalk, Snydergas, Omega, the first of the championship contenders. Jack is there in 5th, Fraser 6th, Ginge is 7th, Scooby G is in 8th, just coming out of the pit lane. Shadow Racing is in 9th, Royston is 10th, Whitford they're 11th, Caesar 82 is in 12th, Shadow Stalker DBS is on 13th, J47PT is in 14th, with Tim currently still in the pit lane. So Martin has a 58.2 seconds lap. He's only 5 thousandths of a second. Yeah, that's correct. 5 thousandths of a second in front of Sandrock. I think that's actually 0.0006. Slide gas is only 0.036 off of the leader, with Omega only 0.082. It's really, really tight around here. A second covers the top 11. Now, I will be trying to update you with points. The way the point system works here for the modern touring cars, and if you didn't know already, we're to get a point for pole position. So at the moment, none of the championship contenders will be getting that, because Martin would be. You would then, in the race, you get 21 for a win, 18 for second, 15 for third, 13 for fourth, 12 for fifth, 11 for sixth, 10 for seventh, 9 for 8th, 8 for 9th, 7 for 10th. If you finish at 11th, you get 6 points, 5 points for 12th, 4 points for 13th, 3 points for 14th, 2 points for 15th, and a single point if you finish in 16th, which will not be required. If you do retire or disconnect from the race, you get nothing for your troubles. So as we have a minute and 10 remaining in this session, she started about 20 minutes late because the Group A's did overrun accidentally. So we carry on through. So 40 seconds left of the clock, and Jack, TM53 Synopsis, takes control of pole position by 38 thousandths of a second. Now it gets even closer because it's NGR Martin, but then Shadow Racing in third now. Only 0.04, although Omega has just taken pole position by 2 thousandths of a second to Jack TM53 Synopsis, a 58.140 to a 58.142. Incredibly tight stuff here. Martin now third by 1,000, well actually 2 thousandths of a second to Shadow Racing. It really is that tight as qualifying is finished. Can Shadow Racing pull something out of the bag here? No, he can't. He stays in fourth. Jack coming around the final corner. Here comes Omega around Luffield and up to Woodcourt for his final qualifying attempt. He doesn't go any quicker. Who's that? Scooby G now up into third, another championship contender. Currently sat in third in the championship with 333 points. Jack crosses the line, can't improve. There's Caesar across the line in 10th. Now Royston's finished there, as is J47PT. So Omega claims a point for his championship. Which is quite good for him. So Omega takes pole away from Jack TM53 Synopsis. Scooby G is third, Martin is fourth, Shadow Racing is fifth, Sandwalk 3 is sixth, Slidergas is seventh, Fraser 8th, Ginge 9th, Caesar 82 is 10th, Royston 11th, Whitford is 12th, Shadowstalker 13th, J47PT is 14th, and Tim didn't have a qualifying time. Don't know whether that was his choice or whether he had a ban or something for qualifying. Who knows? But that allows Omega to increase his advantage at the top now. He now goes on to 350 points. So we're sinking here at Silverstone National. 3 green lights and we're away now. Jag has a great getaway. Scooby, oh my word, that's a monster. McGann in the background going massively off. That is Sandwalk flying off in the distance, but Jag claims the lead as they come out of Cop's corner for the first time. Martin is now in second. That's Scooby looking to go around the outside, drifting it through Maggots there, but losing a place to Shadow Racing. So as they come down the Wellington straight for the first time, Omega looks to the inside of Martin, as does Shadow Racing, and Martin's going to lose out to a place there unless he can keep around the outside for Luffield. He does keep around the outside for the inside of Luffield. Sends Omega wide. Shadow Racing instantly at the inside now. He's got to make up a lot more, an extra point that he didn't want to. On the inside of Woodcote now as they go side by side. Up towards Cop's corner for the second time now as Jack TM53 still leads. Shadow Racing looks around the outside of Omega's, not quite going to work. And Shadow Racing now down into 6th place after running a bit wide through Cop's corner. Maybe having a penalty applied. That's Scooby having a big sideways movement. As there's Fraser, the other contender now, all 4 contenders for the title, up in the top 6 now. There look. Fraser and Scooby. Fraser looking to go around the outside of Scooby. That's a brilliant move into Luffield we come. Now these boys really need to work together against Omega. Remember, only 22 points available after this race. Is that genuine? Martin making a pit stop here? Yes, I think it is. I think Martin... There he is. We have lost someone. There's Omega in second. Fraser, Scooby, Slidergas, Martin, Shadow Racing there. I think it's J47PT has retired from the race. Back up to the lead, and Jack TM53 Synopsis will not be helping Omega here right now. But Fraser on the back end of Omega. Now Fraser's in good form at the moment. He's taken quite a fair few wins in the back end of this season. So expecting to be a real threat here to Omega. We come into Maggots for the 4th time. Down the Wellington Straight. This is your battle. This is your championship leaders battle here. Omega leading the championship. As that is Martin with a penalty now for track limits, I can only assume. Fraser, oh, and Omega's got on the curve, the back end's got loose, and Fraser takes advantage here. Omega's got a slowdown penalty. Here comes Sliding. Oh, Sliding gets into the back of Omega there. Sliding Gas does get through though in the end. So bad times for Omega now. He's got a couple of places to make up now. With Fraser there in second, him in 5th at the moment. That's a 6-point difference. 17 the difference between him and 19 the difference between him and Fraser, so at the moment still not bad. His main rival really is Shadow Racing, and Shadow Racing is now behind him. There's Scooby. Now Fraser was to get up into the lead here. and rip more points out of him. That would be 9 points. Then it would be looking quite interesting. Oh, and a bit of touching on the back end to go through Cop's corner. Fraser looking for a switch back into Maggots, but very well placed car that from Jack TM53 Synopsis. Omega past Slider Gas now as they come onto the Wellington straight. This has not been a good race for Shadow Racing. He really needs to be ahead of Omega right now. Remember, if Omega finishes where he is, it does make it actually easier for him to win the title in that second race. Back up to the front though, and Fraser still on the back of Jack. Make that in front of Jack now as Jack runs slightly wide through Cops. As they head up to Beckett, to Maggots for the 7th time. Jack, TM3 Synopsis, has now lost the lead to Fraser. Now you'd expect Fraser now to start pulling away and to get a gap. They head into Brooklands. And into Luffield they come. So no, we're not really getting much TV time at the moment because we are focusing on this championship battle because it is tight. Up to Cop's corner then. Fraser still leads onto lap 8. Scooby now having a look at Jack into Maggots there. Down the Wellington. They come, Slider Gas still on the back of Omega. Omega not really getting rid of him. On a bit of a lock-up that from Fraser by the looks of it. Into the left field they come, and Fraser on a lot better line, and that is Scooby trying to go around the outside of Jack TM53 Synopsis around left field. That's not quite going to work, but he might get a good run out. As they head up to Cops, remember every point counts here for Scooby and Fraser. And that's Jack with a penalty, I think. I think he had to slow down. Oh, we'll go back to that battle because that's Martin looking around the outside of Slider Gas, who's trying to get back past Omega. As we come down Wellington, oh, and Slider Gas getting a bit boxed in, but he looked down the inside now of Omega. As he head down into Brooklands. And Slider Gas, a very well executed move into Brooklands until the switchback maybe from Omega. No, he can't do it. So Omega now down into 5th with Fraser leading. That is a 9-point difference right now. Should put Fraser within 10 points of the lead. There's Scooby. Now Scooby is 17 points down right now, and he'll be taking 6 out of our championship leader Omega. Good evening, Peter. Hosting this one is Lee Horn, otherwise known as NXTGEN. See if I can find him on circuit, shall we? Where is he? There's Tim. There he is. There's your host for this championship, Lee Horn, otherwise known as NXTGEN, as he comes around Brooklyn and Luffield. So yeah, if you want to get involved with this for next season, I do believe these will be staying around for season 12. I haven't heard any different. This is, I think, probably only the second season of the modern touring cars. So and it's a strongly popular class. So I would definitely believe there to be another season of this in season 12, along with the Group A Tourers. As we go on to lap 11. Omega now up into 4th, as Shadow Racing in 5th. Now Shadow Racing needs to get past that red Megane. Saigas obviously having an issue there. I think he might have spun through Maggots. Puts him down into 12th. There's your 3rd place man in the race, Jack Team 53. Synopsis looking to cement his 5th place in the championship today. Yes, Ginettas will also be back for season 12, which is brilliant to hear, because that is a fantastic little series. Definitely ought to start getting involved with sim racing. Brilliant car to start with. Scooby now looks down the inside of Fraser, not quite going to work. As Martin obviously with the penalty, past Shadow Racing. This is not going well for Shadow Racing, JCB. Yeah, go Ginettas on a Friday. They will be returning for season 12, which is fantastic to hear. See Peter thinking half cape, aka himself, he's really good. To be honest, you do have some really good moments when I'm not watching. I'll give you that one, sir. And you can see there, Shadow Racing really trying to make a bit of headway now towards Martin, but this is not good for the rest of the pack now, who's trying to get the championship away from Omega. You can see it. Scooby obviously passed Fraser now, which is big news. So right now, Scooby G obviously 17 behind the lead coming into this race after the pole position point is counted. This is an 8-point gap between Scooby and Omega if it was to finish as it was, as we're on lap number 14. Can't be any better than this, to be honest. Championship really going down to the wire, especially if Shadowstorm can get past Omega and nick a couple of points off of him. Peter there, taking a few lines with the grass apparently. I believe that's taking a joker lap there, Peter. In a race, taking the grass route. I think they should apply that in racing. Go around this bollard once every 5 laps. As we return to the modern touring cars here, Scooby G leading the way from Fraser at over the halfway point on lap number 15. This is 3/5 of the way through the race. Oh, and Fraser getting a bit squirrely into Maggots, almost touching the back end of Scooby. These two locked in the battle for 3rd in the championship. There's Omega in the red Megane. This is how bad the Megane. This is how good the Megane is, right? Scooby G, Megane. Fraser in 2nd, Megane. Jack is in 3rd in a Megane. Omega's in a Megane. Martin's in a Megane, Shadow Racing Megane, Jidge is a Megane, Whitford is the first non-Megane car in a BMW, and also the top rear-wheel drive car. Caesar's in a BMW, then you got Sandwalk in a Megane, Slidergas in a BMW, Royston has Megane, Shadowstalker has a Merrick, and Tim in a Megane. Very Megane heavy dominated. yeah, it's some brilliant racing actually in the modern touring cars, Peter. Definitely one to get involved with if you like the Ginettas. This is by far a really good step up from that as well. Good, powerful cars. You can see here Fraser and Scooby trying to get away from it. Monday Megane Tours, yeah. Could be a bit like that, but I do believe the BMWs are coming on a little bit stronger since updates have come out. So you never know, we might see a few more BMWs in Season 12. As you can see there, Enjo Tim will be lapped very shortly, I think. And going to lap 17, Scooby still leads from Fraser, then Jack, and then this man, your current championship leader. Now he's won the Group A Tours, he's looking for the double touring car. He's looking to be the Monday Night Tours champion, outright and complete. There's Martin 5th, Shadow Racing is 6th, Ginger 7th, Whitford is 8th, Slider Gas is 9th, there's Caesar in 10th, Royston right behind him with Sandwalk in 12th. Obviously, one thing to be careful of is track penalties, which people have received today. Martin being one of them, Caesar and also Royston have had penalties, time penalties added on for cutting the corners. And there's Shallow Stalker in 13th, obviously Tim there in 14th. So back up to the top end. Scooby as Fraser literally chomping on his butt right now. I think they are using the NASCAR technique of tandem drafting until they reach Brooklyn. Fraser around the outside. Remember, Fraser actually, I think he's got into the Renault Esports final. Scooby was only a 10th away from it as well. So, see, two very quick boys, and Jack is keeping up with him. Go for a slower car. See, I don't think any car is really slow. I think the Megane's just nicer to drive, personally. But I think you can definitely set you also have the Lucia stable setups. You can definitely have it. You can definitely have it. I think all cars would be quite good either way, and definitely a good battle for first place right now. Scooby and Fraser both in the championship hunt here. This is how crucial these points are for them, because Omega is right there in 4th. Shadow Racing needs to get past Omega if he wants to keep his titles within title hopes within reach here. It's not careful, he'll be almost as far back as Fraser and Scooby. And Omega doesn't normally make mistakes in that Megane. Battle beginning to form here for 10th place. And all of this for position because they've all got time penalties. Let's have a look quickly at the penalties awarded. Martin has a 2-second penalty. Caesar has 3. Sandwalk with 1. And Royston has a 2-second penalty. And we head back to the top. Scooby G still holding on to that first place here on lap number 20. They head into Brooklands for the 20th time of 25. Into the left field. It looks like Fraser wants to try and get a switchback. Doesn't quite do it. Upton wants to start finish straight as Slider Gas now receives a time penalty for corner cutting. Side by side into Cop's corner. That's brave from Fraser. Doesn't quite do it though. They are literally nose to tail coming out of Cops and up towards Maggots for the 21st time. Let's go on board actually. Bumper cam with Fraser. So we head down the Wellington. Now you're not going to see much of the scenery. You're going to see a lot of that green backside. Yeah, don't think it will end in tears, Peter. These two boys do respect each other on the circuit as ruthless as they are on their overtakes. This has been a fantastic battle so far, pretty much from the start, where we had him, Scooby, Fraser and Jack all together, and they still are. Oh, and the back end kicks out there for Fraser, going through comps. He gets hold of it. Well, she doesn't lose much time because of the front wheel drive. The drive at the front of the car keeps it in check. Look at that, look how close he does get to the back of Scooby. That's what you can see inside the car. As he looks for a move around the outside again of Brooklands. He's going around the outside. He's not going to work again. He's going to run wide. That's going to allow Jack an opportunity potentially through Luffield. Not quite. Can't quite get it done. Need this because Sandrock has Caesar all over. Sandrock's actually overtaken Caesar, 82 there. And there goes Royston. Almost having a look there. Head to the front of the field again. There's Omega still in full shadow racing. Oh, hang on. Fraser's run wide out of comps, I think. He's lost that second place to Jack. That will not help his championship hopes here at Silverstone National as they come up to Shadow Stalker. I think Jack accidentally gave Fraser a tap into comps then by that act of kindness. It's a bit of a shame. It was looking like a good battle to the end there, but it now means that Scooby G has a 1.7 second gap, and it ends that battle for first place. Shadow Racing now trying to get past Martin for 5th. Is he a bit late in doing so though? He should really have done this quite a few laps ago, so we could have attempted to make inroads into Omega. He's got 1.5 seconds to make up, and that is not easy around Silverstone National as Martin now gets a run out of Cops. So he looks to the outside of Maggots. Obviously, Martin with nothing to lose. Shadow Racing with everything to lose, and a bit of contact sends Martin almost into the barriers. He done well to hold that then. Fortunately, a bit of a racing incident, and that was a bit of smoke, I think, from Omega going a bit sideways into Brooklyn. They come across the line for the 24th time. Here is Scooby G going through comps for his final time. Here comes Scooby G through Maggots. There is Fraser. And Jack, Team 53 synopsis. 1.3 the gap then between Shadow Racing and Omega. I think that's going to stay as it is. As here comes Scooby G round the final corner. And Scooby G picks up where he left off at the Group A's. He wins at Silverstone National. And Jack Team 53 Synopsis takes second by a penalty from Fraser. Omega comes home in 4th place. Shadow Racing in 5th. Martin is 6th. Ginge is in 7th. Whifford will come home in 8th. Here he comes in. Sandwalk will be in 9th. Caesart is in 10th. Royston finishes in 11th. Slide to Gas comes home in 12th. Shadow Stalker, and then your Tim. Tim comes around that final corner. And across the line for Tim. So the final standings of that race are Scooby G wins from Jack TM53 Synopsis. Freighter comes home in 3rd. Omega is in 4th. Shadow Racing is in 5th. NGR Martin is 6th. Ginge is in 7th. Whitford is in 8th. Sandwalk 3 is in 9th place. Caesar 82 is 10th. Royston is 11th. Slidergas is in 12th. Shadow Stalker is 13th. Tim in 4th. Tim rounds out the grid with 14th place. So I'm just going to work out the points for everyone. So then, the points are as follows. Omega still leading the championship with 363 points. But as we go into race number 2 of the night for the moderns, then Scooby G has leapfrogged Shadow Racing into 2nd with 354. He is 9 points behind. Omega has 9 points. Shadow Racing's on 353 and Fraser is on 346. So the 5-minute sprint qualifying shootout for the final race of the Season 11 Modern Touring Car Championship gets underway here at Silverstone National. So the first time's come in now. And Omega tops the sheets immediately with a 58.1. Fraser with a 58.4. Shutter Racing a 58.5. Then a Slider Gas with a 58.7. There's Jack now with a 58.3, trying to get in the midst of this battle. So as we continue on in this 5-minute qualifying session, 1 minute left on the clock. Fraser now takes over the provisional pole position. That is worth an extra point there. So here comes Omega into Luffield for what will be his final time for qualifying. Can he? Fraser's not going to set a faster lap now. Omega, he's 0.16 behind. Can he get that pole position? No, he can't. He doesn't go any quicker. Can Jack nick it and really put a spanner in the works here for the championship running. No, he can't. He stays in 4th. Sliding Gas will stay in 5th. Let's have a look. Shadow Racing hasn't had a good session here. There's Royston. It's like Ginge has gone up into 8th place now with a 58.4. But this man here, Fraser, takes a point. So Fraser takes pole position from Omega. Scooby G, Jack, Slider Gas, Sandrock, Shadow Racing, Ginge, Whitford, Martin, Royston, Caesar 82, Shadow Stalker DBS, J47PT comes home in 14th, and Tim will start at the back of the grid in 15th. So as we sink in then, 3 red lights go on, and we're underway here for the second and final race of the season 11. Next gen modern touring cars, and it's Omega who's made a brilliant start off the line. Fraser's had a poor getaway. He's now down into 3rd place, and that's big carnage. That is Ginge and Sandrock and Shadow Racing. Shadow Racing now down in 13th. That is pretty much all but killed his championship hopes for the modern touring cars. Remember, the points going into this final race were as follows. Omega had 363. Scooby had 354. Shadow 353. As Jack trying to hustle around with Omega. Continue on to the second lap of this final race for the modern touring cars. So here we go, through up to Maggots for the second time. Omega still leading. That's Tim with a penalty already. But as it stands, Omega would take home the modern touring car championship belt. And be the ultimate touring car champion here at NXTGEN after he took the Group A touring cars a week ago. As here comes Fraser in 3rd place with Scooby right behind him. Jack is all over the back of Omega. Now Omega does not have to win this race. There comes Jack around the outside now of Omega going into Brooklands. Can he keep the overlap? Not quite. Omega squeezes him enough. He now tries to get around the outside with Fraser now trying to look up the inside of Luffield on Jack as we come out and up towards Woodcut. Oh, and Jack squeezing Fraser quite happily. As they come down the back straight down the Wellington straight for the 4th time of 25. Remember, Shadow Racing pretty much all but out of this right now for the championship fight. Omega would have to have a serious issue. As Fraser looks around the outside of Brooklands, can't quite get it. That's going to allow Scooby a little bit of a sniff into left field, not quite. Here comes Fraser up the inside again, trying to get the run, can't quite do it. Up to a 5th race distance. Oh, and a bit of a tap from Fraser to Jack into Maggots. They got really close there. Luckily, he didn't end in tears. Good close touring car racing here. Now, Whitford and Slidergas are right there to really intervene with this championship fight. Remember, Jack and those BMWs have nothing to lose. And, oh, that is a tap to Omega into Brooklands. Sometimes it makes you think whether Omega might be better off letting Jack just go. Because Omega has the championship to lose here. In order for Scooby to win it, I mean, he's 10 points down now. If he was to win, Omega would have to finish 8th or less. In order for Scooby to win this title, and obviously, where's Fraser going? Fraser is obviously down now in 6th place. So you can almost say his championship challenge is now over. This early on in the race, it's really sad to see. Omega defending really hard from Jack now. Jack really hounding the #1 machine. As they come up to Woodcote for the 6th time and up towards Copse. As they head towards Copse and up. Through it they come. Tighter line in from Omega on the defensive. Has Jack got a run on him? It does look like he's got a bit of a run. He's looking for a space to get past though. Oh, he's looked for the switchback. Almost like a dummy effect. It's not quite worked for Jack here. He's now got Scooby up his chuff. Current turn has Slidergas and Whitford not far behind. Looks like Scooby and Jack are trying to work together here to get to Omega as they enter Luffield. Scooby looking for a run outside on the exit of Luffield here. Towards the line they go again. Let's see if there's anyone. Here is Ginge and Sandwalk after the incident. There's Shadowstalker there. Their incident earlier on off the start line, going on the exit of Copse Corner. There's Royston with Caesar behind him, and in front of him he's got Martin. You have into Fraser in this lot as Omega still defending from Jack here on this lap number 8. Into Luffield they come again for the 8th time. A third of the way through this race now. Up towards Copse. Towards Maggots for the 9th time of 25. Omega driving a superb race here. This is the view from Slidergas's roof. It's an absolute train of cars that spread out into Brooklands. Slide gas, having a look at the inside of Scooby here. That's going to be interesting. Now look around the outside. Not quite going to work. So you head down the start finish straight. Omega really still defending this. On board a Jack TM53 synopsis. So we head towards dusk. Here at Silverstone. Track will begin to get cooler. Still all 15 cars running in this race. Jack trying to take all sorts of different lines to try something new to get past Omega here. Two-fifths of the race complete, 10 laps down, 15 to go. Scooby yet to put his lights on, which he doesn't quite think is dark enough yet. Oh, and Jack really fancying that Maggot's corner if he can just get a gap. Martin in the background. Oh, and it all gets really tight then. Into Brooklands and into Luffer we come for the 11th time. Omega driving a superb defense here. Through Cop's corner we go. And Scooby has got a run now on Jack as we head down towards Maggots. Side by side into Maggots they come. Jack keeps the place though. But has Scooby got the run? Yes, he has. Scooby alongside as they head towards Brooklyn. Slider gas trying to get in on this. Oh, and a big squeeze from Scooby into Brooklands. And Slider gas is now through into second place. And Jack gets a penalty for that slight corner cut. So then Scooby remains in third, but now Omega has a 1 second gap to Slider gas. Scooby looking to get past Slider gas now and maybe make some inroads on Omega, maybe try and force a mistake out of him. Because right now Omega is double champion. And to Cops they come. And Scooby looking down the inside, coming out of Maggots they come. Can Scooby keep the second place though this time? That is the question as they head down toward Brooklands for the 14th time. No, he can't. He'll look for a switch back out of Brooklands and maybe a switch back into Luffield. Now he's got to watch out because Fraser's right on him. Omega is starting to pull the gap away now, 1.5 seconds. So he head through Cops for the 15th time. Here's some other battles. Caesar, Ginge, and that is Shadow Racing all the way down in 11th. Shadow Racing now looks down the inside of Ginge as they come up towards Maggots. They come. I think that's Scooby now with a track limit penalty. Yes, it is. So that really will put an end to his fight. As Ginge looking to keep Shadow Racing at bay as they head down towards Brooklands here as the nightfall arrives. Around the outside from Ginge into Luffield. That's a fantastic move. He can pull that one off. Great move from NGR Ginge. As they come down towards Maggots for the 16th time in this group of cars. Ginge in 9th, Caesar at 10th, Shadow Racing in 11th, looking to get past Caesar here to get into the top 10. Not quite going to work. Into Brooklyn as they come. And Caesar having a quick nose at Ginge there. Could cost him that 10th place to Shadow Racing. Around the outside, Shadow Racing goes. Can't quite make that one stick. But Caesar has oversteer on the exit of Luffield, which makes that very easy for the McGann driver. Shadow Racing makes his way past. And he's now got to catch back up to Ginge to try and take away that 9th place. Interesting little battle here. NGR Tim 78 has Shadow Stalker now behind him. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Battle for the wooden spoon. We head back up to the top where Omega now has a 2.2 second gap to his rivals, and he's got to be careful here because he's got Tim and Shadow Stalker racing for position up ahead. You know, Shadow. Oh, okay, that's interesting. That is not how Omega would have wanted that to be. Tim decided to get out of the way for the leaders, and Shadow Stalker took full advantage of that and just went on by. Then let Omega 3 just after Brooklands. But that did cost Omega a bit of time. Now down to 1.3 the gap between him and Scooby. Now what sort of penalty does Scooby have? Well, Scooby has a 1 second penalty here. There's your battle for second at the moment. As they head up into Brooklands for the 19th time. Fraser right on the back there. Shadow Racing now has a penalty, so whilst he's trying to hunt down Ginge. Into Maggots then for the 20th time for Shadow Racing. Down in 10th place. He may well lose out to 3rd on the championship to Fraser here. What was the gap between that? That was only 7 points. Fraser's currently running in 3rd, which is 15. And Shadow Racing is 10th, which is 7. So yes, he would indeed lose out on 3rd place in the championship as well. Shadow Racing was to stay there. And his biggest issue is that Fraser's right behind Scooby, who's now right behind Omega. Omega's made a mistake somewhere. Very rare for the current champion-elect to come down the Wellington Straight now. As Jack now picks up a time penalty. And he's now behind Martin. And kind of no lights as well for Jack. Going for the stealth approach. But this is interesting now. Omega has Scooby all over the back. And it is not going to look pretty. Omega has led this from start to finish off the line. An amazing start off the line. The enter Maggots for the 22nd of 25 times. And toward Brooklands. See Omega there on the defensive. Keeping the car tucked in, making sure Scooby can't get a run into Luffield, although he will try around the outside of Luffield. Fraser's going to look up the inside of Luffield on the exit on Scooby. Not quite going to work though. And Scooby has a run on the way up to Cops. He's got to get to the inside now. He can't. He goes to the outside, and that is not the place he wanted to be in. And Scooby has a 1 second penalty right now. Into Maggots for the 23rd time. Down the Wellington Straight they come for the 3 McGanns. I think there's Shadow Racing now past Sandblock for 8th place. He's also got past Ginge, who's now gone down into 11th. Martin Whitford. That is Slider Gas has gone round after Maggots. So that's an interesting place to spin really for Slider Gas. Back up the front though, and it's still as tight as ever. Onto the penultimate lap we go. onto the final lap then for the top three. Up towards Maggots for the final time. Omega still there in first. And now Scooby really trying to get past him just for pride's sake. So Omega comes round the final corner, 25 laps, done and dusted. Omega crosses the line and is the modern touring car champion for your season 11 here in Next Gen. Oh, great barrel roll for finish, that's a brilliant effort. Scooby, in the end, actually kept his second place. So great stuff from him. Martin comes home in 4th, Whitford is in 5th, Jack is 6th, Slider Gas is 7th, Shadow Racing is in 8th, Ginge comes home in 10th, Sandwalk is 11th, Caesar will come home in 12th, J47PT will be in 13th. And that is it. That is your final race here for Season 11 Modern Touring Car Championship. And it's Omega who takes the win in race number 2 and the championship. He is now a double champion in Season 11, taking both the Group A and the Moderns. A fantastic display of driving from him. Scooby G comes home in 2nd, Fraser is 3rd, Martin is 4th, Whitford 5th. Jack is in 6th, Royston 7th, Slidegas 8th, Shadow Racing is 9th, Ginge is 10th, Sandwalk is 11th, Caesar is 12th, J47PT is 13th, Tim 14th, held back, Shadow Stalker DVS's attacks, who finishes 15th. So in terms of the championship, let's comment quickly. Also won the Clio Cup this season as well, so he's a 3-time champion here in Season 11. Is Omega a fantastic drive? He is quite literally a touring car master in Season 11. So the final points standings are as follows, once I suddenly work them all out. 372... So Omega does win the championship with 388 points. Scooby will come home second, is like deja vu all over again from the Group A's with 372 points. And we have Shadow Racing and Fraser joint in 3rd place with 362 points. That is your top 4 for the night from the championship, and a massive congratulations to Omega, who has wrapped up the Modern Touring Car Championship here tonight. Fantastic display of driving, and it's going to be it's going to be really hard, I think, for him to defend that in Season 12. But we might have to wait and find out. Obviously, from the Group A's and the Modern Touring Cars, that's it for this season. Until Season 12, we hope you will join us in Season 12 for those races again. It's been a cracking second half of the season for the Touring Car boys. I think everyone will agree. Next up on this channel for next gen streaming wise will be the Gen Juniors on Friday, as they enter the final few races after being delayed a few times. But from everyone here in the touring car side of things, thank you all for watching the season. We hope you join us next season. Have a very good night.